Coming up right now, 28 amusement park thrill seekers get an experience well beyond the price of admission.
Also coming up, a trip for passengers on board a British Airways flight. It takes a bizarre turn why their destination was a trip to nowhere.
A little bit later, the very special gift former President Trump gave YouTube star and to fighter Logan Paul. We'll show you more about that.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English. We're welcoming you to Daily Flash and so glad to have you here on this 2 for Tuesday. Oh, Maddie's hanging out there as well. Matt, how you been, buddy?
Good, man. You know, the wife's got me on a vegan diet, and I don't hate it, which I thought I would not be in on, but I can't really tell the difference on some of the stuff she's been ordering.
Like what?
The burgers and stuff like that. Some of the chicken, like the sauces and everything. She's getting a little more vegan.
So what is it?
It's soy, based. I don't know. It's some type of vegan plant. I don't ask. I just eat it.
See, you know, God bless you for sure. I did the vegetarian thing for 1 year, and I found it very, very difficult. But they also say for your blood type, you should check out before you do stuff like that.
Oh, I'm not going all in. I'm still getting my wings, but you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you bring that up, but a friend of mine was a vegetarian for years, and she ended up reading that blood type diet book, and she got her blood type tested and realized she should be eating meat and other things. She changed her diet completely changed her.
And you know, I know there's vegetarians out there, nothing against it,
no.
and you're welcome to do that. A lot of time it's because you need iron, and you don't get that when you're in a vegetarian diet, so you got to take supplements and that sort of thing. And I know we'll get a barrage of emails just saying vegan's a hard way to live. That's
just one avenue to consider.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
Just say that. It's not an end all be all, but for some people it works. Netflix is getting a couple NFL games this year on Christmas Day.
Okay, this is so crazy.
Isn't this interesting? So they're already selling ad spots for the Netflix Christmas Day football games. $5 million for a 30-second spot.
Wow, they're expecting that high of a turnout.
Huge. And they're two big games. Chiefs, I believe, are one of them. I think the Steelers or Raiders are in another one. Anyway, but $5 million for a 30-second ad. Now, for perspective, when it comes to the Super Bowl, you're looking at $5 to $7 million for a 30-second ad. That's for the Super Bowl. This is for Netflix.
That is just incredible. I wonder if they're going to be embedded. First off, the words ad and Netflix should never be in the same sentence.
I agree too. When I heard this, I'm like, I can't even comprehend ads on Netflix.
So will those ads stay since it's like a recorded show, more or less? Because I imagine you can go back and watch it afterwards if those ads are staying there, if that's placed into
They'll probably
the amount.
slice them out with stuff for new Netflix shows or something like that in the future if it's something that they archive. But
oh, you mean so if you watch it, go back and watch it again?
They'll promote something else.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Why are they asking that kind of money? And it seems like for Christmas Day, especially. I mean, I don't really think about television too much at Thanksgiving.
The last few years, the NFL has done football games on Christmas Day. It's unusual, but they've done it, and actually the numbers have been better than basketball games for the NFL. So I think there's some sort of track record there that suggests, look, you could probably reel in this kind of money for Netflix.
I think it's because a lot of bars are closed on Christmas, so they know people are going to have to watch them at home, and it's a more focused audience. Because the problem with sports TV right now is they all know that it's just up in the bar and no one's paying attention. With this, it's going to be focused people on Netflix. You're dialed
in your living room. But I have a problem with now the NFL is splintering off into NBC Peacock, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and then these games that they're playing overseas you'll only be able to watch them if you have X, Y, and Z service. So I just kind of wonder at what point it's so fractured. It's becoming so fractured.
To be able to find it, and even if you get, I know at least for Major League Sunday Ticket, my father-in-law has the MLB. He's a big Braves fan, and he's blacked out. And I go, well, just watch it on the MLB thing. He goes, no, he won't let us watch it there either because it's blacked out. That's unfortunate to see that. But it's interesting to see. I know Prime had some great numbers with their Thursday Night Football.
And YouTube now has the Sunday Ticket package, so you've got to go to YouTube if you want. want to buy that. You need a flow chart to keep track of all this stuff.
And then you're paying for it, but then you're also paying, then you're going to have to see ads as well. We'd love to know your thoughts on that. Go to our website, dailyflashshow.com. You can click on Sound Off. Tell us what you think. Hey, let's head now about this. More than 24 people experience a crazy ride after a coaster in Oregon left them hanging literally upside down. 28 passengers on the Atmosphere. It's at a Portland theme park. The ride suddenly stops. They were stuck for nearly a half hour like that, folks. The ride operators, they called 911, started their emergency procedures, and according to a Facebook post shared by the Portland Fire Department, the rescue teams were trained for this exact scenario. They trained for this. Park says the attraction is now closed until further notice. I would hope so. And how do you leave somebody like that for that long? It seems like your blood would rush to your head for a while.
30 minutes.
That's a long time. Scary, too, the whole time.
Nope. That's why I don't do the carny rides.
Well,
I do them at theme parks. I don't do carny rides.
They set those things up. And
even though this was a theme park, the place
Yeah.
is like still not up to Disney Universal standards. Where they test it 10 times before the park opens. Nope, I don't even do those at the outskirts ones.
But don't you remember as a kid when the carnival came to town, you didn't think twice about it? Like that zipper ride?
I did because my dad was a carny and told me how bad they were made.
Okay, so
we did win all the games
exception.
though.
That's, by the way, Matt's book is called My Dad Was a Carny.
Oh, no, I got a better title for that one if we're doing that.
All right.
I don't want to hear it.
We'll move on. Passengers on board a flight flew for hours across the Atlantic Ocean, only for the plane to turn around at the halfway point. The mishap occurred while the British Airways flight was traveling from London to Houston. The trip's total flying time should have been 10 hours and 20 minutes. The plane was halfway to its destination with 300 passengers when it experienced a technical issue as it approached the Canadian coastline. Flight crew said the jet had a problem with the engine. By the time it returned to London, it had flown nearly 5,000 miles across the Atlantic twice. Unclear why the aircraft had to fly all the way back to London for repairs.
Just for that, I mean, I'm certain it's because of protocol. There's probably some kind of reason that they go, all right, doesn't matter, whatever is going on, we need you back here. Could be as simple as, well, the part we need is back.
Yes.
We left it back.
We left it back there.
Back in London. Who
the
knows
battery we need for the engine to run.
The last place you want to be is over a body of
European
water.
Plug, and we can't.
It's a whole plug. It's an electric airplane, and they need the converter.
Yes.
I'm assuming this will come out eventually. What exactly happened? But I would be happy that say, hey, look, it seems like they could finich the flight out. They had made it back, but that wasn't the case. They knew what's best, and I don't know anything about aviation.
Yeah.
All I know is that was it a Boeing airplane? That would be the first question I'd ask.
Yes.
I mean, we can't even get this thing fixed up in this International Space Station. Do you hear about all the problems that Boeing?
That's not going to end well.
So that's all. I know we're going off on a tangent here,
but I guess the question is, like, would you feel safer to land over the ocean or take your chances over land? I mean, that was the first thing that I thought of.
If basic could have been I think it would be on the land to be better for me. But it seems like they're somewhere between there and there. It had to be an island or a country that has
an airstrip
to be able to land on. All right. Former President Trump met influencer Logan Paul recently, and during their meeting, Trump gave him a T-shirt with his mugshot on it. Take a look.
Is this your mugshot?
Yeah, can you?
No way, you're a gangster.
This is what we're reduced to.
No way. No way.
President Trump joked that, hey, it sells. Jake Paul laughed while posing with the T-shirt, and his Prime right behind him as well. So got to make sure you promote that.
Prime.
Here's something I got to tell you. Would you have thought, like, I know when influencers started coming out and more people coming out, like, just how influential they are. Now this guy could be fighting Mike Tyson and meeting Trump as well.
So tell me how Jake Paul got his start. He was just on YouTube,
Vine.
right?
He was one of those early Vine kids coming out of college. He was actually a collegiate, really good wrestler, but he started doing all these Vines, and his brother started doing them. Jake.
But they weren't sports related stuff, were they? They were just,
it was just goofy, dumb stuff,
stunts and things.
And then they just built the network. Yeah, he's just smart enough to build the network. Plus, his parents are very wealthy, and they were able to. He was kind of had a job, and he started a compound in LA where he brought all the influencers together, and that's how his kind of ramp up kept going.
Doesn't that sound fun? A compound of influencers.
Wouldn't it?
It's like a nightmare.
And not having to have a real job, it does pay off sometimes when you have a nice safety net like that. I was not aware.
I mean, he's done really well in the WWE.
I'll give him that
He's
way.
got the Prime drink. He lives in Puerto Rico now. Like he's really built it up, and he just takes shots at these. He's even said he's willing to go interview Biden if they'll have him interviewed. Like he's willing to just whatever his face can get on, he'll do.
Of course, he's an influencer.
Yeah.
He'll do
whatever to get clicks.
Go swim in worms. All right, he'll do it. People will watch it, right? I mean, it's everything that we try to do.
Will he go on Fear Factor?
He would do it.
Oh yeah, if it's.
I don't even think that show is on anymore.
No,
I don't think it would be a whole nother level. There.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? He's got a following. People watch him. That's what they do, and we just talked about it. So mission accomplished there. We have more flash trending news and entertainment coming up right around the corner. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Time to get flashed. We dish out some hot topics that we will sound off on. We want you to join us in the conversation with your thoughts on our social media. You guys ready?
We are ready. We have 15 seconds each, right?
Yeah,
to kind of say our part, and then we kind of all talk after.
Okay, first up, here's our first topic. A viewer asks if she should get flashed or not for changing the name of her daughter after a request from her sister-in-law.
Okay.
She says, my husband and I came up with a name for our daughter and told the family. Now, for months, no one said anything. Weeks after giving birth, my sister-in-law came to me and asked if we would change her name from Ember to something else. Turns out it was the name of her stillborn daughter. The viewer said no, she would not change it.
Yeah.
Was she wrong for not respecting her sister-in-law's request? Mitch, I'll start
all right,
with you.
first up, listen, a name is a name. It goes with you for the rest of your life, by all means. And a parent, that's one of the hardest decisions they have to make, is what they're going to call you. By all means, no, she should not have had to change it at all, even if, this is what they worked on. And the whole time she'll be thinking about that, as morbid as that sounds, and I'm sorry, as mean as it sounds, there's no way you can go around it. When that child is who that you've thought of to give that name, it has to be something that you'd be able to keep.
Maddie.
That is a hard no for me. Like my wife and I have already kind of picked out kids' names. If we get there, our first two, a boy or a girl, and we're not changing it no matter what anybody in the family says. Like my family's got some weird names, and none of us said anything, so we went with it. Plus, I mean, come on, the last name's Doolittle. The kid's going to be stuck with that anyway. So the first name's going to be fine, and then they're stuck with that one. So no, you're not changing it. I'm sorry.
Is Dewey Doolittle an option?
No,
not an option at all.
So your thoughts? I mean, if you think about it, is it disrespecting the parents' decision?
I think if she hadn't said anything, if she hadn't sent out the card and said, hey, this is our plan, this is how we plan to name the child, then maybe at that point this person should have spoken up about it.
That's a good point, yeah.
I can understand it, and then it's kind of a family thing. It's like, why did you name your child this? It's sort of a stigma now, but I don't know why no one said anything to begin with.
In the first place.
Yeah.
Maybe like a middle name, too.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, a viewer asks if she should get flashed or not for not allowing her fiance's best friend to come to their wedding. Now, there's a twist to this story, okay? So hold on to your seats. She says, I'm not inviting my fiance's best friend to our wedding because she pretends that I don't exist. To make matters worse, he's done nothing to address the situation. My fiance said he did not want to end his friendship with her or do anything to jeopardize it because he wonders what would happen if we broke up.
Okay.
This made me wonder if he would protect me as his wife since he wasn't making me a priority as his girlfriend / fiance. So who's in the right here?
All right. Can I go first?
Yeah.
All right. First, okay. So my understanding. So his best friend is a girl.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then 100%. I mean, it sounds like they just had a study out a while back that most women have a backup plan.
Yeah.
They have somebody in their mind if they get divorced. Sounds like that's what this person is. If unfortunately, you have to walk away, and if they're as close as they are, that person would understand. Hey, look, my new wife doesn't want you at the wedding.
Yeah.
So if you're a good enough friend as you are, which obviously it's going to be stressed out in the first place, then don't oblige to it at all. Wow.
Matt?
I think you got to compromise. There were a few people on both sides of our lists when we did them where I'm like, does that one really have to come from her side? And on my side, she's like, does that one have to come? I don't know. Mitch might have get a little sideways because does he need to come? Does this one? But I mean, we kind of both looked at it. It was like no ex-boyfriends or girlfriends, even if we are friends with them still, because I'm friends with a couple of my ex-girlfriends.
Sure.
And so it was kind of that like, okay, let's adhere to that type of thing. So I think you come to a common agreement.
Yeah,
really.
and I think too, like, if you're marrying this person, she has to be your priority, not your best friend. Like, I get it. You've got to. Then if she's really your best friend, then maybe you're marrying the wrong person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because you're supposed to be marrying your best friend in the first place. Right,
I just keep thinking of My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts. Last one here. A viewer asks if he should get flashed for purposely leaving his brother in the cold at family events. My brother is upset about being left out of family events and the siblings group chat. He also is being ignored at work, and some of his colleagues don't invite him out to events outside of work hours. I told him that he is essentially excluding himself and that his behavior is the reason why he's left off the invite list. Should he get flashed or bring his brother back into the fold? Mitch?
All right. Well, I know I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and if we don't do this group chat or whatever. But if we did, it seems like you should do whatever you can, even if you know the answer is going to be no. You should still extend that out, because it could be a one time. He might be going through something. Is he has the invitation there, that it's always there. If you forget one time, you're going to forget every time, and then eventually, they say you didn't even want me there in the first place.
Yes.
So I think he should continue to invite him to come in. And matter of fact, that brother should be in, even if you don't comment. At least you know what's going on in your family, and not leaving out in the cold, and not going in, just at least saying, well, I can't make it because of, at least work a decent excuse into it.
What if he's the kind of guy that doesn't comment with a couple of lines, but with paragraphs in text?
Okay, well, then that's a different story. No, you got to let him say it.
Okay,
I mean, if you put him on that list, you know that's probably what you're going to get out of the deal. So, I can imagine that would be
group
a big
chat,
problem.
no group chat.
Well, I don't have any brothers or sisters, but I think you've got to be careful with, maybe he's got a background that they don't like inviting to stuff. Maybe he's too much of a drinker or something at some of these events, and they're like, hey, maybe we keep Tommy out of this one soiree we're having, because he gets a little screwy, but he's going to see it on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a family dynamic you got to be careful with there, because there's some people that we don't invite to some of our group stuff just because we're like, that one gets a little sideways. But if we're having a whole-on party, then we will invite them.
But it does say something about his personality if he's also sort of being excluded at work events and with coworkers.
So there's
something going on there. But does excluding him make matters worse?
I think it would, but it will reassure whatever he's going through is real. And and if you're family, you're able to tell people generally how you feel about them, and maybe that's what. Hey, look, we want to invite you, but every time it seems like there's some kind of issue. What's going on?
Every time you show up, you strip down.
Why I don't get invited to much.
If you want to sound off on these stories, all you have to do is head to our socials and tell us what you think. Head to our website. There's a sound off button right there, dailyflashshow.com.
We got more. We're doing Car Smarts right around the corner. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. In today's Car Smarts, Lauren Fix, the car coach, lets us know how your private information from your car can actually be handed right over to law enforcement.
Automakers are giving up your data to the police. What happened to privacy? At least 8 car makers in the United States have admitted they would backtrack on a voluntary privacy agreement and turn over your personal customer data to the government and to the police, prompting calls for an investigation. Automotive News reports 19 car makers had voluntarily signed up for the Consumer Privacy Protection Principles in 2014. Standards which would require the U.S. government and agencies, including the police, to obtain a warrant or court order to access customer location data. However, 8 automakers misled customers about giving driver data to the police. And now U.S. automakers are raising questions about whether automakers can be held to account for departing from the promises made about user privacy. So who is giving your information to others? Toyota, Nissan, Subaru, Volkswagen, BMW, Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, and Kia would turn over your data if a subpoena were produced, in violation of the standards they signed up for. These car companies are following the agreement they signed. General Motors, Honda, Ford, Stellantis, and Tesla require a warrant for location data unless it was an emergency or customer consent was provided. Tesla was also the only brand to notify its customers of legal demands. Actually, all manufacturers should inform you if they're giving up your information and your data. This has not only raised concerns about what other privacy promises car makers have made that they won't be keeping, but it has also led to 2 U.S. senators calling for companies to be investigated by the Federal Trade Commission. And quote, automakers have not only kept consumers in the dark regarding their actual practices, but multiple companies misled consumers over a decade by failing to honor the industry's own voluntary privacy principles, said Senator Ron Wyden and Senators Ed Markey in a letter to the FTC. Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, and Kia all defended their practices, while the Alliance of Automobile Innovation, a lobbying group for the car industry, claimed the government agencies only request location information when there is clear danger to an individual. And quote, vehicle location information is also provided to law enforcement under specific and limited circumstances, such as when an automaker is providing a warrant or a court order, or in situations where there is imminent threat or serious bodily harm or death to an individual, an AAI spokesperson told Automotive News. In March, the New York Times published an in-depth investigation about a Chevrolet Bolt owner who had been quoted a significantly higher insurance renewal premium, later discovering that his data was being sold to insurance firms by a data broker called LexisNexis. This was followed by a second report detailing a proposed class action lawsuit put forward by a Cadillac XT6 owner who claimed he was denied insurance by 7 companies on an account of his LexisNexis driving report provided to the firms without his knowledge. Both of the vehicles were equipped with OnStar and GM's Connected Services brand, which is gathering information used by LexisNexis. In the wake of the reports, General Motors subsequently ended its partnership with both LexisNexis and Verisk, a similar company which also sold driving data to insurance companies. According to the New York Times, an internal document circulating within General Motors showed more than 8 million vehicles were actively supplying data through OnStar's Smart Driver program as of 2022. The problem is, you sign away your ownership when you use their systems, and keep an eye out for those opt-out options and support the government bills that protect your privacy.
Hey, welcome to Furry Friends This Week. Now, Andrea, I know you like the rather larger dogs, Weimaraners, right, I believe, which can get pretty large, but what about having the world's official tallest dog? Meet, I think it's a great name for him, Kevin, a Great Dane from Iowa who has been officially named by Guinness World Records as the world's tallest dog. The 3-year-old measures 3 feet 2 inches from his feet to the ridge between his shoulders. It's not from his tail to his head. That's how they officially mark these things, which makes him about the same size as most toddlers. To get that big, he eats about 10 cups of food. So you can even see when he stands up on his owner, who's about 6 foot, and his arms are fully up. That's a big puppy.
That's one backyard I'm not playing football in.
No. I don't want any of that. And one more Furry Friend story today, and it's a happy story to wrap up this week. And I love these. When a pet goes missing, but eventually finds their way home. And for this little pup, she was lost for almost 6 months. A Virginia woman adopted a rescue dog from South Korea in 2023 and knew the dog had a tendency to roam away from her home in Virginia. Well, the Finnish Spitz mix took off during a walk back in December of 23 with the dog missing her human. All of a sudden she noticed it and she was gone. She set up an Instagram account for her entitled Finding Autumn. The woman almost gave up when they spotted Autumn at the Arlington National Cemetery where she had made a home for herself at a nearby army post. It took a few attempts to trap her, but when they did, they finally got Autumn home with her family, which was great. And even though she spent 6 months on her own, she checked out. They said a little malnourished, but other than that, she was fine. Which is great. You can just see how, she needed a bath too. She was a little dirty. But these dogs are resilient even when they run away.
Absolutely. And always a great ending to stories like that. Love hearing that. And get those dogs chipped.
Put air tags on them.
Yeah, air tags even better. There you go. Thanks a lot, Matt. We got more trending news and entertainment coming up right here on Daily Flash.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. Mitch English here.
Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
I don't know if you heard about this story. This tow truck operator in Texas. That's hard to say. Tow truck operator in Texas. Okay. They were called out. Somebody was doing their morning walk, and they walked by a church, and they saw this 2000 Porsche Boxster sitting in this parking lot of Jehovah's Witnesses parking lot and everything. And they walked by, and they happened to look at it, and it had this blanket, and on the top of the blanket you could see like hair coming out of it, and they were looking at it, and you could see some feet at the bottom of it. They didn't know what to do. They called the police. Police came, and they go, well, it's on private property. I'm not sure what we can do, but it looks like so they had to get a a warrant altogether.
Oh my God.
So all this stuff started happening, and they went in, got the warrant, able to open up the Porsche Boxster that had been sitting there apparently for several days. So they open the door thinking the absolute worst. They grab the blanket with the hair and everything, pull it out. It was one of those real doll sex dolls. No. And the only thing, the first thing I thought was like, this thing was out there for several days, and why did anybody inside the church see it? And I'm not making fun of Jehovah's Witnesses, but they don't have windows on their church, so nobody saw.
Oh my goodness!
And left this gorgeous Porsche with a gorgeous sex doll inside.
Wow.
They towed it all off, but they were, thank goodness it was nobody.
No. What happened?
That's the question. The story behind
That's
it.
a Netflix docuseries. I want to know.
How do you leave? First off, a Porsche. I mean, it's a 2000. Sure, it's 25 years old, but still.
It's a classic now.
And knowing, exactly. And knowing you have a sex doll in there, did you just forget? Where did I leave that thing at?
Where did I leave my Porsche and my sex doll? Darn.
And she had to have a cool name like Porsche. Or something like that, right?
Yeah. Or it was a scorned wife that got upset at the husband, and she just drove the car to the parking lot
that idea. And
with the sex doll wrapped up in the blanket to say, I found you out.
This is why we have Jackson on the show here. You have a mind. That is so far away from what I would have thought.
I could see that could be an ex-girlfriend or an ex-wife
and
kind of
how
move.
can I embarrass this person the most? And then first off, wrap it up so people would be suspicious. And then second, put Jehovah's Witnesses parking lot. I love it. Okay, that's the story.
Wait, what if they knocked up to the window? Hi, we'd like to talk to you, but wait a minute.
Here's a pamphlet.
Here's a pamphlet.
Right.
More than 24 people experienced quite a ride after a coaster in Oregon left them hanging upside down. 28 passengers were on the atmosphere.
It's a play on word.
At a Portland theme park when the ride suddenly stopped. They were stuck for nearly a half hour. The ride operators called 911 and started their emergency procedures. According to a Facebook post shared by the Portland Fire Department, their rescue teams trained for this exact kind of scenario involving this particular ride. The park says the attraction is closed until further notice.
Wow, that's scary. You can imagine that first off, but this is a place there, it's a permanent fixture.
Yeah.
And something happened. Why is it always, it's always at the very top?
Yeah.
It's not like,
it can't be like close to the ground.
Yeah. And then what's the conversation you have while you're up there?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You dating anybody?
How's it going? What if we don't get off this thing?
Is this what it's like in Australia?
I hope they made everybody take the stuff out of their pockets. Because if they're just sitting there or somebody gets their phone out, it just goes flying down.
That's a good point.
And I'm certain somebody had to have gone live.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know it.
For sure.
Universal, because their stuff goes upside down, you can't have anything in your pockets at all anymore.
But people find a way to
They've got
sneak
metal
in.
detectors, though.
Yeah. That's Universal. This is Portland.
This is true.
Oregon.
Portland, things a little bit different. Portland, by the way, is a town that capitalized on being weird, too.
Yes.
So they
it is Portland, Oregon, right?
Yes.
I think it is. Yeah.
They could pay money to get people to do that then.
What ride I got stuck on, and this is no lie, with my boys on It's a Small World.
Yep, did it.
And
been there.
They have not, we talk about the shutdowns at Disney. This ride, you hear about it breaking down all the time, or it stops.
Yeah.
And eventually people were getting up and walking off, and
they couldn't take it
sons
anymore.
were like, I'm like, they let us in and everything. I'm like, I'm not going to get kicked out of this place.
Yeah.
They go, come on, Dad, can't we leave? I want to go. They're leaving. Can't we just leave? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
They'll get it going, and it was a good half hour, 45 minutes sitting out here. And they never turned that music off.
Never.
Nope.
Never at all. And no lights on.
That would be enough to drive me out of there in a hot second.
Go crazy, right?
Yes.
Go crazy. I'd rather hang upside down. Tell you what, we will do our best not to drive you crazy, and no, it's a small world at all.
On Wednesday, June 26th, Comfort Keepers, a leading provider of in-home care for seniors and adults, is celebrating their 6th annual National Day of Joy, and they've just unveiled a new survey shedding light on how adult children are playing a pivotal role in helping their parents embrace their golden years. Joanne Butler has the story.
We all desire to know the secret to happiness and longevity. Well, a recent survey by Comfort Keepers, a company that operates more than 600 offices nationwide of caregivers who deliver uplifting support to seniors, found that a positive mindset about aging can help them thrive. And they're celebrating their 6th annual National Day of Joy to remind people that finding joy is important for maintaining physical and mental health, as well as improving overall well-being.
The National Day of Joy is the last Wednesday in June every year, and this year it's on June 26th. And this year's theme is the power of positivity. Our brand promise is elevating the human spirit, and that is recognizing the importance of positivity, joy in all of our lives every single day. So as we're so busy, it's so important to stop and take a minute to think about, gosh, what is the thing that brings me joy, or how can I bring joy to somebody else? It helps us thrive at any age, especially as we get older, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The research shows that socialization, positivity, and joy can make a huge difference in our later years.
Their annual survey asked adult sons and daughters about how they're helping their aging parents embrace aging with a positive mindset. They found that 3/4 of adult children say it's important to have a caregiver network to support their aging parents' physical, emotional, and social needs.
The other stat that is so great is that half of these adult children tell us that their parent is their best friend, and just reinforces the importance of family and those emotional connections and those bonds, and how important it is to stay connected to our senior loved ones as they age.
Comfort Keepers says it's not just about managing the challenges that come with aging, it's about embracing the possibilities and celebrating the positive changes that come with each passing day.
Particularly as our parents become older, as we become much more focused on things like their safety and their health. But we don't always focus as much on just the joy in life and the happiness in life and making memories. And so it becomes really important to have those activities, whether it's sitting and watching a movie together, taking a joyride, having those in-person moments where we're bonding with our loved one, we're laughing, we're hugging, we're patting their back or patting their hand, we're sharing those memories together is so essential. We know that it helps release oxytocin, which is our love, trust, and bonding hormone, and that actually improves the health of both the older parent as well as the older daughter or son.
For more information, visit comfortkeepers.com. They're also inviting you to share your Day of Joy activity on social media using hashtag National Day of Joy.
All right. Well, hey, let me ask you a question. Should a country's government subsidize kebabs? That's actually the question rolling through Germany right now amid fears that the price of the popular meat dish could surpass $11. Rent and electricity costs for kebab shops, they're rising, pushing up prices for consumers. There's one political party there that has proposed using a state fund to actually cap the price of kebabs at $5 and $2.50 just for the kids. The meaty flatbread meal, one of Germany's de facto national dishes, currently averages around $8, all thanks to inflation. The cost of kebabs has actually become something of a running joke in German politics. More than 1 billion kebabs are eaten in Germany every single year. Now, this proposed subsidies could actually potentially cost taxpayers more than $4 billion to bring down the price of a kebab. Is it that necessary? Well, I guess you gotta love your kebab if you're over there in Germany. You gotta love something. More Flash after this.
Need to unwind after a busy day? We've got the perfect solution to your sleepless nights, thanks to Disney. Disney Sleep offers peaceful renditions of your favorite classic Disney songs to fall asleep to, and is available wherever you stream music. Just say, "Alexa, play Disney Sleep" to your Amazon-connected device. For the perfect deep sleep, visit DisneySleepSweepstakes.com and enter to win the grand prize, an award-winning NOLA Evolution Luxury Hybrid Mattress. This mattress offers 3 firmness level options, cooling comfort, and pressure relief for sensitive joints. Learn more at NOLAmattress.com. The prizes don't stop there. The grand prize winner also gets a Whim Beside companion lighted speaker with Alexa to stream the Disney Sleep playlist. If you fall short of the grand prize, don't fret. You can still win one of 5 $25 Amazon gift cards. Head over to dailyflashshow.com and click on the sweepstakes button for your chance to win.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. You know, this year marks the 20-year anniversary of the blockbuster film School of Rock, with child star Brian Faldalto and as the aspiring stylist, Billy. And now fast forward to today. Brian is now an accomplished, openly gay country singer, and he's got a new album out. He's also touring nationwide. Let's take a look at his performance over the weekend.
kiss. Come on. If you kiss me, I will kiss you back, but I'm not gonna kiss you first. If you kiss me, I will kiss.
He joins us now from New York. Brian, welcome to Daily Flash. We're so glad to have you here, man.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
How many times have you said, or at least heard, it's been 20 years since School of Rock came out? I mean, I remember when the movie came out, it was a fun getaway, if you will, and almost a little bit of all of us wanted to have a life like that. Take us through those days before we talk about your career, what you're doing now. But back then, what was that like being in the movie, Jack Black and the crew?
Oh, it was amazing. It was kind of like this unparalleled experience for an 11-year-old to be able to like be taken out of school and have this Hollywood experience. And then, yeah, I mean, I didn't know at the time, but to be talking about it 20 years later, I didn't know it was going to be such a cult classic, but I'm very grateful to have been in it and to be a part of it.
I bet. You know, Jack Black actually had to be lots of fun by all means. You know, we fast forward now to 20 years. Music's been important to you. Have you always, you're always a country music singer, or have you always appreciated country music?
Yeah. Grew up on country music. Faith Hill was my first album. And then I think I graduated college and I worked at a country music radio station for 4 years, and that sort of really solidified my place in the genre, I feel like. And then I just started writing my own music, and that led to where I am now.
You know, country music fans are so loyal. You know, you want them to say, hey, look, this is the new Brian than it was back in School of Rock days. What do you hear when you're out on the road?
Yeah, people seem to be really vibing with the new music, and I've had some fun moments on like TikTok and stuff where some of the songs have started to gather an audience, and it's been fun hitting the road and getting to play these songs live for people. We've been playing a lot of Pride festivals and just a lot of different concerts in some of the major markets around the nation, and it's just been a really good time.
Hey, you know, let's talk about, you know, it is, you know, we went through Pride Month. Brothers Osborne, there's openly gay country stars as of right now. As I mentioned, Brother Osborne is one that pops out here. You know, are we at an age now that, you know, that country music, really all fans, do they really even look at that anymore? Is that even something that we need to say? Oh, he's a gay country singer. I mean, it seems like it's just, why do we need it in the first place?
Yeah, I think we've had some great strides in the past couple of years, but there really are only 2 openly queer artists, I think, signed to major labels. So there is not a lot of representation in the genre. And if you look at mainstream country radio, they're still playing a lot of the same artists that they've played for the past 10, 20 years. There isn't a lot of diversity there. So yeah, I think to a degree, we have to sort of be big and bold about it, like we are with a lot of queer representation things, to just sort of make sure we get the message out, and that's kind of what I'm doing with this project.
And I appreciate you. I appreciate you telling me that thing. You know, and I didn't mean it like, you know, accusatory or anything like that. But it's like, you know, we want to all be able to accept everybody, and I guess you have to say, look, you know, listen to my music first. Don't, you know, if you like it, you like it. Doesn't matter what my sexual orientation might be. I can appreciate that, and so I guess that's why I asked the question. Folks want to find out more information about you, and especially where you're going to be touring at. Where can they go?
Yeah, I'm on social media, Brian Falduccio, or they can go to my website, brianfalduccio.com.
Brian, thank you so much for joining us here. Good luck on the tour. You're in Orlando. We need you to stop by the studio and say hi, okay? You can check it all out. He's on Instagram. We appreciate your time joining us from New York City. And looks like the School of Rock did well for you, man, even though we went country. Maybe we'll have to make another movie called School of Country. Teaching some folks out there. That's just an idea. We'll throw it out there. We'll ask Jack White as well, see if they'll do it for us. Very good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Let's make the most of summer for you and your family when it comes to daily routines and household chores. Here with more is lifestyle expert Bahar Takhteshian. Welcome, Bahar.
Thanks for having me. So summertime is here, which means there's a lot of fun to be had outdoors. But if you've got kids or if you're active yourself, you will notice that you're sweating a lot more. And a lot of times sweat can cause odor-causing bacteria to linger in your clothing, your socks, your jerseys, your undergarments, and that's no fun. But thankfully, there's a product from Lysol called the Laundry Sanitizer that is really going to help you out this summer. This laundry sanitizer kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria. When you add it to your laundry routine, it is so simple to use, it is so effective, and I love that it really, really helps sanitize your towels, your clothing, your undergarments, and so much more. It is available at major retailers, and you can find out more information at Lysol.com. Now, moving on to your beauty and grooming routine. In the summertime, you're probably wearing a lot of hats to kind of ward off the sun. But a lot of times in the hot weather, when you mix hot weather and humidity, and it creates this very bad microclimate, and it attracts dandruff-causing microbe. They're more likely to thrive, and that way you might feel a lot of scalp irritation. You might notice some dandruff on your shoulders. Thankfully, Head & Shoulders Bare is a great product line that can help you. So this is my summer hair go-to. It'll keep your scalp flake-free, it fights off scalp irritation, and I like the fact that it's made with only 9 ingredients. You're not going to find any sulfates, no dyes, and no silicone in these shampoos. It's created with clinically proven dandruff-fighting ingredients, and there's 2 different formulas to choose from. So if you have oily hair and scalp, there's a formula for you. If you've got a little bit of a drier scalp with dry hair, there's a soothing hydration formula that you can actually choose from. This is the #1 awarded scalp care brand. It's a great product for the entire family, and you can find out more at Amazon.com.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. A woman and a robot attempt to solve a mystery. This is today's must-watch series, Sunny.
So, why Japan?
Food, culture. It sounded perfect.
I'm afraid we have bad news.
My family was in a plane crash. Things have been, weird. Can I help you?
I have a gift.
Hajimemashite, Susie-san. I'm Sunny. Bring it in.
Okay.
Robots can be of great comfort.
I don't want a robot. I hate robots.
Sunny was created by your husband.
I'm confused. Masa works in refrigerators.
You are also laugh riot.
What are you hiding from me? How much does Masa talk to you about what he does at Ematech? Maybe I could help figure this out. Did you really know my husband?
I don't know. My first memory is meeting you.
I heard about this, guide that helps you break into HomeBots.
Susie-san, they want something from you.
私はあの人の仕事を尊敬してたから。
Sunny, right? Does it seem normal? Sunny? Are you okay?
Don't you see, Susie? I was programmed for you.
I'm gonna find out what happened to my family.
I know about trying to fight pain and mess. But do we have to do it alone?
Ooh, that looks good.
It did. It hooked me in. And then, of course, Rashida Jones there play that. So it looks like a little bit of humor in it, but it looks fun.
Yeah, well, that does it for us today.
It sure does. Thanks, y'all, for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Head to our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Bye-bye.